All right, guys, so this is a 2011 Honda Accord oil pan and or gasket replacement. I decided to make a video because I didn't find anything online on 2011 or higher. I just found older Honda Accords. Please keep in mind, this is not a in-detail replacement. These are just key points. This was actually a new and pretty tough job for me. So it took me a couple of days because I didn't really have too much time, so I had to do it in portions. So I just want to go over the key points. Number one is you need to remove the engine mounts. The front one is here, and there's actually a video on some older Honda Accords that you can look up. This front engine mount and this bolts here are actually the same. So if you want to look that up, you can, but this is pretty straightforward. You just remove two screws that cover the front mount bolt. You remove that cover, and then there's one more in the center that you remove, and then this one is just one here that you remove. Now the one that's different is the rear mount. To get to that, I did have to remove the stabilizing bar. To remove that, there's just 3 nuts you remove from there, easy peasy. And then what's different on the newer vehicle, or at least 2011, is that the rear mount, there is no cover to it or anything. I removed more bolts than what I needed to, but that's okay. Let me get this out the way. So the only bolt that you need to remove is a long one that goes through here that holds this in place. That's the only one you need to remove. I ended up removing this one and this one, which was not necessary. There's only one, and it's this one, and it holds this in place, as you can see. So that's what's different from the older vehicles. I believe in the older vehicles there's a cover that you need to remove, but this one is just one really long bolt that goes through here, enters here, comes out through here. That's it. That's all you need to do for your mounts. Once you do that, you get it on jack stands, and you're going to jack it up, remove your passenger side tire and your cover here, and then once you have it on stands, using a cat, which you can see here, you're going to put some cardboard or something to protect your oil pan. To raise it up, you jack it up so that you can get access to these 3 nuts that are back here. Those are extremely tough to reach. This is why you need to take off those mounts, those bolts on the mounts, so you're able to jack this up and get into these 3 nuts. This actually was the toughest part of the job, right? So once you can get access to these, everything else becomes easy. I saw a lot of videos that will mention that you need to remove, or at least lower your subframe. I didn't do that at all. I thought I did, so I did remove the bolts, which are, sorry, actually I took off my bumper because I'm repainting it, so disregard that. But there's one there, and there's a couple which I removed, but you don't need to do that because I did not need to lower my subframe at all to be able to complete this job. All I had to do was get access to those 3 nuts so that I was able to loosen it. And then once I did that, came to the bottom. See, it's jacked up now because I just replaced the gasket. But if you need, I was going to replace the pan, but I decided not to, even though I bought the part. But once you do, you remove that cover that holds that portion of the oil pan in place, and then you're gonna jack up the transmission side. So So you'll place a cardboard there or a piece of wood. You jack up the transmission from there, which gives you clearance from here to be able to remove the oil pan. So you only need to raise the engine just to remove those bolts. Once you do, you jack up the transmission side, of course protecting the transmission, and then that would still give you this clearance here to remove the oil pan. And that's all you need to do. If you have any questions, I could go more in detail if you want to reach out directly. But overall, that's the fundamentals. Thanks.